What is up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? I'm doing all right, chilling at the hotel like normal. Just gonna hang out with Nick Reich. Let me get some shares in real quick. If you don't care, share this to your page. Uh, you don't have to, but please share. Let me get this volume turned down over here. Appreciate you all for coming in. We're gonna trying to set my tablet up so I can see the comments over here. How's everybody doing tonight? Big race, big race. Was it Rush Springs this past weekend? Oh man, yeah, big race. Daniel Heckley coming home with the win. I figured he was gonna pull it off or do something bad because he he ain't messing around. Rest of the season, he is in it to win it. Uh, I think he's gonna fight as hard as he can. Hang on just a second. Let me get a trying to get my buddy in here. He's gonna come in just yeah. Okay, good deal. Good deal. He's gonna come in here in just a little bit. Nick Reich's gonna come in. He's just got off work. He's heading home. He will be in here just in maybe another 10 or 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes. But how's everybody doing tonight? Did we got anybody in here that went to the event? There was also a RC race there. A couple of my buddies went to it. Um, Dustin Girding, he pretty much smashed everybody in that RC competition. That boy could drive. Let me tell you, he could drive. Jeremiah Strauss is in here. He's watching. Jeremiah, me and Nick just discussed maybe having you on the show. If you don't care, I'll message you sometime next couple of days and see if you want to come on. But he said you got a lot to say. Don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but he said you know a lot. You and him went to Crandon. Um, y'all got to meet and talk to some people. So I'd like to hear all about that. Is anybody ready to talk to Nick? And what does Nick drive? What buggy does Nick have? Who owned the buggy that Nick has? Let's see here. Do we have any questions before he gets on? Put them in the comments. Uh, Questions for Nick. That way, we could ask him. Let's see here. Questions for Nick. Where are the questions at? Let me see some questions. Let me see some questions. No questions? Nobody wants to say anything? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Somebody say something because I have nothing. Yep. Okay, we good. We good. Cool. All right. Jed Harper, you're another one I like to get on here. I know you was on the show before, but it's always nice to have everybody back on. Somebody says what all does Nick plan on racing next year? All right. We'll ask him that question. I would like to know what all he's gonna race. Also, but besides besides the series races, I wonder if he's gonna hit up any bouncer hills. Uh Bouncer, I don't know if he has time though. He's tied up in a lot of work. Let me try to get one more person in here. He's not popping up on my. His wife's popping up. Heather Burmeister. Where's Jim at? Hmm. Hang on just a second. Let me. Nick. All right. Let's see if that will send. Trying to get some of them Canadian people on here. Actually, they're not Canadian, but a good buddy of mine call them Southern Canadians because they're from way up there. Jammeister, that's right. That's right. Maybe that's why I couldn't find him. Let me see if I could find him. Because I sent it to Heather, but let me see. There it is. All right. I just sent it to him. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get on or what. But yeah, I got him. All right, let's go over the results. The results. Um, we had for the bouncer class, we had Daniel Heckley first, Brandon Davis second, and Matt Schusler coming third. Uh, so that's the bouncer class that was at Russ Springs. Daniel's he's gonna be hard to beat the rest of this year. Which we have. How many weight races do we have left? We have bikini bottoms. This is just bikini bottoms and finals, but there's 4 hills at bikini bottoms, so that's gonna be good. Uh, and the UTV bounty, we had first place was Madison King, second place was Josh Kropinski, third place was big old Cody Kaysen. That a boy, Cody. Like seeing you up there on the on the podiums. Let's see. Yes, Danica Jane could come on also. That would be that'd be pretty cool. Uh, let's see. Jed, when is your next race going to be? When is your next race going to be, Jed Harper? You gonna race next year? You done? You done for this year? Are you gonna come down? You can come down to Bikini Bottoms. I'm telling you right now. I'm thinking Bikini Bottoms is gonna be the race of the season. Although we haven't got the finals yet. Um, I'm me personally, I can't wait for Bikini Bottoms. I might even get there on a Friday afternoon after I get off work. I might head out there then. My son Dallas, he's wanting to go pretty bad. He's wanting to go real bad. So uh, we might leave after he gets out of school and head that way on Friday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What all does Nick plan on racing next year? Yep, I agree with that too. Jim, Jim, I sent you a link. I see you watching. Uh, Nick told me it'd be a good idea to get you on here as well with him. So if you want to, click on that link, and unless you're scared of some people, a lot of people scared of the camera, but me, I don't. I'm used to it, I guess. Uh, so we got bikini bottoms and finals. Who's all going to go to finals? Anybody going to finals? I'm going to be there on Thursday. Uh, I will be there on Thursday. So, uh, nobody wants to hear me. Yeah, we do. We want to hear from everybody, from all drivers, all walks of life. We want to hear from you. Don't be scared. Jed Harper says, unless they do something this fall next year, we have too many trips planned. We're going to Winrock for a week in the Razors and Turks and Caicos in December. Ooh, wait. I do remember you saying you was going to Winrock now in the Razors. But I think that was on. When are you going? When are you going to Winrock? When are you going to Winrock, Jed? Who all likes Winrock? I love Winrock. Will Bell's watching. Vandal Buggy's watching. All right. Let's see here. Let me see. Let's go to YouTube. No, but October 12th to the 17th. That is the weekend before finals, I believe. I believe that's my RC finals. Let me check real quick. I believe that's why I said I couldn't meet you. That's my RC finals. October 14th. Yeah, yeah. I might be able to come up on a Sunday and Friday or Sunday and hang out with you, Jed. Saturday I have my RC finals, so stand at Half Moon. All right. Well, get with me, Jed, on your way down, and let me know when you're gonna come. Ooh, yeah. Nathaniel Bell will be at Bikini Bottoms and finals. We had Nathaniel on a while back, and uh boy, he's gonna be something. He's gonna be something. More events, more time in the buggy. He's watch for watch for Nathaniel and Josh Kopinski to be on a podium a lot more next year. I could guarantee that. Guarantee. So, what Mitzi? Do you know what all Nathaniel's gonna Nathaniel? I want to call him Nathan. Nathaniel's gonna run at Bikini Bottoms. Is he gonna run all the classes, or is he just gonna run the bounty class, or do you know what he plans on doing? Let's see here. Just bounty. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Hmm. All right. The way are who's all in here? Let me see. I can't see who's all in here now. Oh well. Anyways, he has to work on Fridays. Yeah, I do too. That's the only reason I get to go on Saturdays, or because I work on Fridays, except for finals. So since he works on Fridays, is he gonna be at finals on Friday? Because they race on Fridays also. So hope for finals he got that Friday off because I got that Friday off. Uh, so I'm gonna be there. I get there. I think I fly in Thursday. Me and a buddy of mine fly in Thursday, and uh, then we're leaving Sunday. So okay, so he will be at there. Let's see here. Chris Line says, "What's up? What's going on? What's going on?" Sean Walls is watching. T.G. Barrett is watching. Josh Cochran is watching. Nadine Vance is watching. Greg Derby. What is going on? Jed McCullough is watching. What's going on? How's everybody doing? Uh, there was let's see, who was it? Josh Cochran. Um, how's Heather doing? She doing fine with with all of her visits? I hope so. Uh, we got Jake Pike in the house. What's up, big bad Jake? We're waiting on Nick. We're waiting on Nick to get to the house and get situated so we could have him on discussing your build, your awesome build. And I talked to Jake earlier, just for a little bit. I hope one of these days that he could take a little bit of time off and have him come on the show and chit chat with us on what all he's doing. I know he's getting married, so congratulations on that, sir. That's awesome. A little depressed. I didn't get the invite, but I understand. I understand. You gotta invite family. I'm just messing. I bet it's gonna be a beautiful wedding. Let's see here. What was the bouncer finishing for the ride with the cure? I would like to know the same thing, Jed. I would like to know the same thing because all I seen was Ethan Martin got second place. I believe Tunnel Hill Racing. I believe that's the only thing I've seen on that, and I've seen that. Oh man, who was it that won the buggy? Uh, he's a racer, but he won the I say raffle, but you know what I'm talking about. He won the razor. Okay. Josh Cochran said Tyler Young first. Josh Cochran says doing good right now. So she's doing good. That's awesome. Josh, that's awesome to hear. Oh, and I need to see where I need to pay to get those shirts. I'll get with I guess I'll get with her. I know she's got somebody doing it for her, but I never got a chance to pay for the shirts. I need to get with that person. If you can, Josh, if you don't care, put down who that person is and in the comments. That way we could go to her and get her paid and everything else. Uh, Jeb said Dan won, so Dan won the UTV class. That's awesome. So Tyler Young first, uh, Ethan Martin second, and who was third in the bouncer thing? Let's see here. Candy can't. Oh, Dan won the buggy. No, uh, it was somebody else. Uh, it was a driver. I cannot remember. Oh, only two finished? Wow. Clint, and yourself and Randall Key. Y'all three didn't finish? Was it that bad, or the hills that bad, or complicated? I mean, what's up with that? I know you I seen you beat on your rig. We got Chris Wygant in the house watching. We got our guy Nick Reich chilling in the background. I'm looking at him right now. I'm gonna wait till he gets his camera set up and get situated before we bring him on. Uh, but yeah, you know what? I need to go back. I need hang on just a second. We're gonna get Nick on here. He's uh he's still messing with his camera or his phone. Make sure you're on Wi-Fi if you're on Wi-Fi, Nick. Let me get on this Rod for a Cure real quick and see who won that buggy. I see. Hmm. All right. Riley Bradford. Riley Bradford won the buggy. So that was awesome. All right, Nick. Here we go. Add to the stage. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Good to see you.
Yeah. Yep. Things
Yeah.
are going well. Lots of racing here lately.
Yeah, I know. I seen you was up north, Crandon.
Yep. Yep.
You did
A
you know
lot of.
you didn't race up there, did you?
Oh, we were hoping to. We were really hoping to, but I guess we had a little too much interest and not enough time to fit everybody in. So
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Let me let me let me answer a quick question real quick. Jeb McCullough says, "Who'd you say the hills were too bad for?" Jeb, I didn't say they was too bad for any of the guys that I mentioned because I know they would tear down on a hill. But if I did, I didn't mean to say that they were too bad for those guys. But the people that I seen that was there or was gonna be there at the Ride for a Cure that didn't place was Clint Garrison, um, Randall Key, and Josh Cochran. Those are the three that I mentioned. And the no matter what hill you build for those guys, they're it's not going to be too bad for them. But I just didn't see their names anywhere, and they said there was only two bouncers that finished, so I didn't know what was going on with that. Let's see. All right, so we are with Nick Reich, the man that pilots Fordzilla.
yep. Yep.
Tell everybody about yourself. When did you get started into four wheeling and or off roading? Don't have to be four wheeling; could be two wheels. But let everybody know that what when you got into it and a little bit about yourself and what buggy do you have. So I'll let you take the floor.
Uh, about 14 years ago, I seen some I seen some YouTube videos of the guys rock bouncing down south. Timmy and Dale Larson, um, all the big names. Those guys, and I just couldn't get enough of it the moment I seen that. And there was a couple guys around my area here that were building them, and they were building them based off the same thing what everybody down south was doing. At the time, I was working in the oil field, so I went over to the guy that I thought was the best and started having him build me one. And then 8 years later, we completed the first one. and that was
Oh,
Wooly Bully.
okay.
And actually, I was putting on or promoting a race and putting it on at a music festival that I was in a partnership with, and he actually dropped my first buggy Wooly Bully off at the race that I promoted and put on,
Huh.
and I only drove it about 100 feet before I raced it for the first time.
Wow. How did that
Yeah.
turn out?
Oh, I cartwheeled and lit on fire.
Oh no.
But no, it was a good time. You know, obviously every buggy has lots of kinks to work out, and that's never a recipe for success when you drop it off at an event with no drive time. So it took a long time to make that thing somewhat fast, and in the meantime, I ended up going down south and racing with all the big guys, and did the best I could with what I had. I really got into the sport big time after that. And of course, the first time I ever laid eyes on Fordzilla, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because I'm a big Ford guy. So that was always the buggy that I wanted if I in my dreams. And who would I have to give credit to? It'd be Jim Burmeister. It would have been we were at a race, an outlaw race somewhere, and Jim had went to Jake Pike's house after the race. Jim and his family went to Jake Pike's house after the race, and Jim knew how much I loved that thing. And he called me and he says, "Nick, you're never going to believe what I seen. I seen the old Fordzilla chassis sitting underneath Jake's overhang. He still got it. Jake had already built 2.0.
2.0, yeah.
Well, I never really knew, and I guess it might not have been common knowledge. I think I guess I just didn't know that. I just assumed that he cut the old one up and made it out of that was the new one.
Yeah.
And apparently he didn't, and he had it there. So I said right away, I said, "Well, see if he wants to sell it." And of course he said, "Well, yeah, heck yeah, you're interested?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." So the original plan was buying that chassis, and then I was going to just take everything off Wooly Bully and convert it over. And life happens, and in the meantime, I had got a really lucrative and large job in Arizona when we normally weren't working in the wintertime. Normally myself and my whole crew and company were all laid off in the winter because we don't have much work for concrete in the wintertime.
Okay, so you pour concrete, is that what you do?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
And so we had scored this really large job in Arizona, which was a whole new adventure for us because we normally don't work in the winter, and then we normally don't work out of state. So we got that job, and we went down there, and I was pretty excited about it. And then when the money finally started coming in, when we started getting paid, uh, that's when things kind of changed. When I thought, we'd do more with Fordzilla than just switch over from Wooly Bully. Some things that happened that were meant to be that really made the biggest difference, though, was AJ Spay was going through a tough time in his life and had acquired an awful lot of I think some of the best parts that money can buy.
Mm-hmm.
And in his trouble was he needed to sell these parts in a hurry, and there when you're trying to sell all the best stuff that money can buy, your market's pretty limited.
Yeah.
And I had reached out and talked to him about individual pieces and parts. I mean, throughout a couple months, but I never had the money or the means to do anything with it. And it came right down to it, where he had a certain time frame that he had to sell all these parts, which the parts I'm talking about were Spider Tracks axles and knuckles and Conan Monster Glide and SCS and Tube Works diffs. I mean, all the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best stuff money can buy.
Right.
And what it worked out is it worked out great for both of us because it came right down to it. I think he had a short period of time, a couple days or a couple weeks that he had to sell, and and I only had so much money, and I guess I was the only guy that was really interested. So from what I understand, he made me an amazing deal, once in a lifetime deal, and I bought all that stuff from him, and that was kind of the beginning of the rebuild of Fordzilla.
Okay, so you got all the axles and transfer case and stuff from AJ, and so what did you pull over from Woolly Bully?
So, well, originally we were going to pull everything, but we pulled the motor out of Woolly Bully, we put it in Fordzilla,
So
and then we
see,
pulled the
sorry,
shocks.
sorry to interrupt you, but for some reason I don't know why, but the Fordzilla buggy now seems to me. Now I haven't seen the Woolly Bully buggy in a long time, but that motor sounds so much more stout than the motor that was in Woolly Bully.
Yeah,
So you, you could almost fool me. I mean, you could lie to me and say I don't know. You sure that's the same daggone motor?
well, yeah. Let me explain a little bit. So I can't remember what year it was. If it was 21, I think it was 20. It's either 20 or 21. But I raced Visions with Woolly Bully, and I blew my motor. I windowed the block out both sides up
Mm,
in the middle of the hill there. That was that was the motor that was in Woolly Bully. After that, I had a spare motor that that was just a short block, and of course I had to get motivated and get it ready because I needed a motor. Well, it took me. I think I took that whole year, the next year and a half off because I didn't have the funds to do that, and I had that motor all got it finally done and everything, and we had just got that and put it in Woolly Bully so I could get to racing again. And then all these other circumstances happened, with the finding of the chassis
yeah,
and the job and the parts.
yeah.
So that motor technically had never been run in Woolly Bully. Or I mean, it had never been run in Woolly Bully. We
Okay.
had just put it in there and actually got it tuned and all this stuff. David Page did all the tuning and all the fuel injection and everything on it, and we were just getting ready to, and then all everything changed. You know,
Man,
we
that thing runs now. That buggy, I
so,
love that buggy.
so a really funny story about that is that that thing sounds so much better than what it really is. I'm not being modest about it, and you can ask Jake even that's a mild motor, and unless it wouldn't surprise me if Jake never told me, but it I mean when I took it there, I know what that motor was, and I have all the dyno sheets, and I mean I know everything about it. And when he fired that thing up, when I got to see it, when it was all done,
Hmm.
I would have bet $1 million that that was a different motor. That's how big a difference those stainless
Yes.
headers that he put on there made, and whatever he did with the tuning, and I mean he says there's nothing different, but I was freaking out. Even my unveil video, I was blown away. I could not believe that that was the same motor.
Yep. Jim just commented and said it's the headers. Laugh out
Yeah,
loud. I sent Jim I sent him a link, but I think he's too scared to come on. I think he's a little shy.
I
So
did. I did give him a heads up. I did push him a little bit.
I don't know. He might surprise us, but if he follows the link, then so how hard was it to pry that chassis away from Jake? Or was it, hey, you want to sell it? Yes, here's my price. Okay, I'll take it. Was it that easy? Or
No, no, no. It wasn't. It kind of wasn't like that. Like I guess me and Jake had a racing relationship already, so he knew I was a huge Ford guy, and a fan of his, and kind of I was a Ford only guy, so like him and Larry Krog, and I guess a lot of those guys that are Ford guys or whatever, we rooted for each other all the time. So um, basically, I mean, he was like, "Why are you sure that you want it?" And more of a surprise that anybody was interested. or that's how I felt about it anyway. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that's my dream buggy. And
Yeah.
speaking of dream buggy, a fun fact is I was offered an obscene amount of money for it, probably
Really?
about 2 months after I got it. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. But
Oh.
I don't. I think I'd move into a smaller house before I sold that thing.
So you really love that
Oh
buggy.
yeah, that's mine and mine forever. So,
Dang.
but
Yeah, there's definitely money going around in the buggy buying business here recently. Whew,
yeah,
I'm like,
if I
wow.
could just get somebody to offer me that kind of money for Wooly Bully.
Do you still have that buggy?
Yeah, yep. Jake just finished it up, and we're bringing it home. Jim's actually gonna go get it for me here in a week or two.
What's the plans?
No real plans for it.
Rail trips?
It's just a big part of my life, and where I invested a lot of my money and stuff. So it's just hard to hand something off like that.
Yeah.
So
Is
I
that
mean, I technically, I don't need that. I don't need it. And I can't. I raced that. I tried to race that so long, and it's just not a race rig. It can't handle the hits that it needs to be able to handle. It's a little too heavy and doesn't have quite big enough parts. It really needs a 14 bolt in the front,
right?
and it really needs rear steer. And if it had those two things, then we could, I could probably do okay with it. But
When's the last time you raced?
with Wooly Bully,
No, with Fordzilla.
last weekend,
What'd you race at?
uh, the uh, the
Fair?
shootout, Rock Bouncer shootout, Midwest shootout,
Oh yeah, that's right. How many buggies was in that?
23.
Really?
Yep, yep.
Where was that at?
Neilsville, Wisconsin.
23 buggies?
Yeah, we got a lot. We got a lot up here, and that wasn't. There was probably 20, 25 more that didn't come.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Now, when Shelby with the old point one series, you remember Shelby?
Yep.
St. Clair. Now he used to call all you all Southern Canadians.
Yeah. Southern Canadian Mafia.
So who was in that mafia? What all names was in that mafia?
Oh, so that would have been Cody McElwam, Jeremy Burgess, Jeremiah Strauss, Jim Burmeister. Oh, Casey Green, Jake Brown. Who else? I think that's the majority of them. That
Okay.
was the guys that when we started, we were kind of going to all the races together.
Now you have been more involved this year as far as racing than them. Now Jeremiah has come out and I've seen and raced and I've seen Jim at races, but is it fair to say that you have been more involved in actually racing this year than anybody else up there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's reasons for that though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um so oh Lord. Jake Pike just said Wooly Bully sounds better than Zilla now.
that one surprised. That one surprised me.
No, I wasn't knocking any of them for not racing. I'm just saying letting the
No,
people
no, I
know,
know.
are you're probably the only one that is still racing majority of the time compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, just life.
Yeah,
I know the backstories behind them all, just because we're all friends. But
right.
like Jeremiah's been building his daughter. He's been updating his daughter. His daughter is,
Underrated, right?
yeah, yeah, Danica. She's a hell of a driver, and just really needs a more competitive buggy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got it. He got underrated and rebuilt the thing top to bottom. And I mean, it's nice, it's fast, and he got it done. And I think they only drove it like a mile or two, and the motor blew. So he instantly pulled out another motor and got it, got another one in and got her going. And she was able to race this last weekend, and start working out some of the kinks on it.
Nice.
But that's the only reason that I believe that he's been held up is because he's been so focused on getting that thing done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you're gonna see. I believe you're gonna see him and her all the time. You know.
Cool. Heck yeah. Can't wait to see him back out. Jim Burmeister says, I'm old and have a trail rig. Hey, that's fine. That's what I was going to ask you. Is Woolly Bully going to be a trail rig?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
That's why. I mean, that's what it's. It's a pretty awesome trail rig. You know, it has good steering and some of the best shocks or struts you could ever get now.
So, uh, you got the same shock struts on it as the Fordzilla?
I do. The ones on Fordzilla are very new, brand new, and they have all the the from the factory parts. You know, the newest of the new. Like what if you were to buy some struts from ORI or Jensen Brothers right now? That's what you'd get. The ones on Ford or Woolly Bully, those have been reconditioned. So those are the old ones that had new internals put in them.
Okay.
So
I
there's small differences.
I got you. Yo, crazy Zach. Crazy Zach Garner's got to say something. He said, "Did Jake require all Fordzilla shirts be sleeveless as a requirement of the sale?"
We have similar tastes.
So, speaking of those shirts, I'm glad you brought that up, Zach. Where can we get those?
Oh, you just got to hit me up. You hit me up or message on Facebook, and we got all a pile of them. You know, we sold. I think we sold about half of them, but
I need to get mine then before before you give it away.
so we're going to be going to. We are planning on going to Bikini Bottoms.
Yes.
So we will be
Yes.
there, and then I have yet to confirm. I gotta confirm with Clyde or whatever, and make sure it's okay with everybody. But I'd really like to go to finals too, and I know or I thought maybe that there was a rule or something to do with.
There was last year, and there was a lot of racket going on. And me as a fan,
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. The more bouncers out there, the more um, the media could put them out, the more rock bouncing grows. But I understand their side of it, wanting to give back to the people that's been there all season.
Oh yeah,
I
right.
understand that side too, but I hope Zach's in here. Maybe Zach could talk to Clyde, but man, I hope he just lets everybody in because
Oh,
last year was such a big ordeal of who's in and who's out. I just hope this year he just says, you know what, if you want to come, if you want to spend the money, come on out. So that's what I'm hoping that he's gonna do, but I
I
don't know.
I ain't too worried about it at this point. I don't like to in the rock bouncing world. I don't like to make too far ahead plans,
Oh yeah.
just because you can count on everything, and then like if I lost the motor, I'd be out for a while.
Yeah.
So so
Well, I don't know. You got Wooly Bully now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Bikini bikini bottoms. That's I want to see that's as for sure as I can do. So I'm planning on going to that, and then as long as everything's good and the none of the racers have a problem with it, and Clyde or anybody doesn't have a problem with it, then I'd like to go to finals too.
Cool.
So,
That's awesome. Zach just says, I think we can vote at drivers meeting. So, uh, I mean, I I hope that's the Bikini Bottoms drivers meeting because you don't want somebody hauling a buggy all the way to Missouri
oh no, I'm
and at
sure
the
that.
at the drivers meeting, say,
Yeah, those guys
well,
are smart guys. They know.
yeah, yeah, they're pretty smart. Let's see. I had a couple of questions, but while we was waiting on you, let me go back up here. Um, let's see. Well, Jed McCullough says, "Who drives it better, you or Jake?"
Oh, I'm sure Jake drove it better.
I don't know. You was on. Jake drove it this year, and you drove it this year. Who was on the podium?
that's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you was on the podium.
yeah. I don't know. Well, I got a long ways to go until I got that kind of consistency.
Yeah, Jake, he's one hell of a driver, buddy. I tell you what. I hope he could come out and just race one or two a year. I know, or I did know a little bit about what was going on with him and uh, Goofball. What's his name? Jonathan Gibbs,
Yeah,
but I don't know what they got going on now. So, what who? So you've been in rock bouncing for a while, not racing but watching, right?
yeah, yep,
So who? I ask everybody that comes on here. I don't know if you listen to any live feeds. Some people do, some people don't. I listen to people's live feeds going down the road, like traveling.
yep.
Like if I have a 3 hour trip, I'll put on somebody's live show and I'll listen to it through my speakers instead of listening to music or something like that. Uh, I don't know if you have done any of that, but I ask everybody that comes in here. Um, you drive a bouncer, so who is your four that you put up on Mount Rushmore for a rock bouncing drivers?
Oh, well, obviously Timmy Cameron.
Yep.
Um, Timmy Cameron. Um, what's Cole or Mad Ram 11? What's him?
Cole Shirley.
Cole Shirley. So I don't. That's how I got exposed to the sport. Is him,
Yep.
and that I don't know the guy. I've never. I don't think I've ever spoke to the guy. But I like him, and
He's a good
I
dude.
would have never even known about rock bouncing if it wasn't for him.
Yep.
So him, Dale Larson was a big one for me,
Okay.
and then you know, oh, Bobby Tanner.
All right.
So,
There you go. There's
so
your four.
that would be mine. I mean, those to me, those guys probably have just as many fans in Wisconsin as they do down south because that was all we got to see. And when you watched all the videos in the old days, they were just highlights of them.
Yep. I those three of those was mine. I had all of them besides Dale Larson.
Oh
I
yeah.
had Clyde Bonham in that spot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he deserves to be
So
there. There's a whole pile of them. Matt, how do you say his last name?
Myrick.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think he's a huge
Yeah.
huge thing to the sport. I
Oh
think
yeah.
Jake Berkey's a huge thing.
Yep.
Clyde obviously is Clyde's probably in the last 15 years or 10 years have probably done more than just about everybody combined.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Zach Garner said, "What about Joe Pierce? He's a North guy.
Joe Pierce, I don't know everybody.
All right. He I think he runs up in the what is it called? The New Hampshire area. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I think he's up in that area.
There's
Um
yeah.
so another question right here. I got it up on the screen. What all does Nick plan on racing next year?
Well, next year will tell, I guess for sure. I mean, my goal is to race the whole national rock racing series. That's my goal.
Okay.
That's my goal, and I'm gonna I'm just gonna do everything in my power to try and be a points contender with that. That's what my goal is. That's a pretty high bar for me, and there's a lot of things that depend on that with work and scheduling and stuff. But we're definitely moving in the right direction.
Okay. All right. Now, there was a couple events you had somebody bring your buggy and then you would actually fly in. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
How
So
did
what?
how did that how did that work out? I mean, was you just so piled up with work and you said, "Hey, I want to be there. Let me see what I could do." And you worked it out? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I work an awful lot, but What made it? What I wouldn't even have been able to race at all, and my buggy was with Jake, and I've had some pretty rough times with like the new buggy blues, or just trying to work kinks out of a buggy to make it fast. I don't think I'm above above average in any way when it comes to driving, but I can tell when a machine isn't performing as good as it could be.
Right.
And I've had a lot of stuff that's been really fast that was handled amazing, and I've also had stuff that didn't. And one of the things that I knew and was really worried about is I did not want to just take a buggy that was being built like Jake was building the buggy, and I did not want to take that and just go off on my own and deal with whatever comes up.
Right.
I really didn't want that. So what that I mean that worked out in the best case scenario for both of us, but I probably wouldn't have done it any other way. So what happened there is I was working in Arizona. When I go to Arizona, I I basically stay there working all winter long. I
Mm,
I don't come home much. I actually my family comes out by me. My wife and kids come out by me,
okay.
and I work pretty constant out there, almost basically every day. And so when there was a race, that would force me to take me out of that burnt out kind of, what are you doing this for type
Yeah.
thing. And that would force me, and I asked Jake if he would haul it to the first race for me so we could test everything out and he could be there and stuff. And he said, yeah. And if he did that, and I just made it happen. I flew into the nearest airport and rented a truck and drove out to the race, met, and we raced, and yeah, we learned an awful lot.
That's what I'm talking about. That's dedication right there. That's what that is.
That was I did that for 3 races, and let me tell you, it was dedication, all right.
That's dedication. Now Jake actually raced one race, didn't he? What race was that?
Yep, that was at Fritz's place there.
Okay.
Um, and that man, I really wanted to go to that, but I had some emergencies that I had to deal with, and I mean it was all of course last minute stuff. It just cost me a ton of money, and then I had
Yeah.
no choice. But it is what it is, and thank God Jake did that. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a good dude.
yeah,
Um, Jay Storts is in here. He said, "Hey guys, what's up? Sorry, I just got in, buddy. You ain't gotta be sorry about nothing. You Jay Storts, you the man. What's up, Jay? How you doing, buddy? We're just sitting here jaw jacking a little bit, just
so
talking.
Jay starts. He's the only reason that I was at Visions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually called me and says, "Hey, you got to give Trip a call. They want you. He's looking for racers."
Huh?
So I mean, that was pretty amazing of him to
Yeah.
give me that opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Now I watched that, and it seemed like you was in every single race. I was like, you and Paul was like, it's like you get done, you go right back around. Get done, go right back around. I'm like, good Lord, how many times they get a race in a row?
Yeah, they, uh, they were. It was not easy for them or the racers there, just because it's not like I guess other normal racing events where you got a little bit of time. They're on TV, so everybody was being pushed to the max. And I mean, they had fail safes and stuff in order, but I mean, them guys worked their asses off trying to get that. And there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't know. There was races in there that we weren't even supposed to race. There was races that other people got called out that they won, and just because they had the names mixed up of which buggy,
Hmm.
but they made it all right. They made it all right with everybody. They handled it professionally. It all worked out great. And
Yeah,
I thought it was an exciting event to watch when I watched it,
yeah.
and it sure
Oh,
as hell was exciting to race in it.
ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know, this is the Black Buggy. You remember the? I don't know if you watched the show live feed. It was the Black Buggy, the Black Buggy. They didn't know
Yep.
your name for nothing, but they knew the Black Buggy.
Oh yeah,
That's
we ain't ever gonna have that happen again. We got Fordzilla on the side now, and I got some stickers being made that have my name right on it, so it's right on the bar, in the front and the side.
Nice. Heck
So
yeah.
make sure that don't happen no more.
My son Dallas and Jeremy Hudson says any outlaw off road racing
Oh
next year.
yeah, I mean, Outlaw is that's kind of I guess that's where I race the most and always have.
That's where it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh, you sort of surprised me when you said didn't say nothing about outlaw, but you mentioned you was chasing SRS. I was like, hmm,
so I'm just trying to do what anybody that's serious wants to do. I want to race more. If it was up to me, I'd just race I'd race every day if I could.
right,
That's what I want to do. But I got a lot of people, and I got a lot of stuff, a lot of people that depend on me. So uh, this this trying to race the national, I think I've only ever raced two events ever in the National Rock Racing Association. So this is a big step, and I mean I've made I think three full series with Outlaw. And I think that's five races a year, and then I've always done visions when I had a running buggy. I think I've done three visions.
I've never been to Visions.
So that's six races, and the way I see it is, well, it's four more races for national,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I'm gonna try as hard as I can. But what I'm after is I think I can be competitive. I really do, and I really want to pick up some more sponsors so I can do a good job with this.
right.
Although it's hard for me to get sponsors because I want ones that I believe in, and I've
Yes,
had I've had my fair share of ones that I don't believe in.
yeah,
And that's give and take always. The sponsorship thing is not what a lot of people think. Sometimes you get a lot of nice stuff, but it keeps you from winning races too.
yeah. That's true. Some people just take just to take and say, hey, I got sponsors. You know, if they're not really legit sponsors, then it's if it's just I mean, I don't know. I guess a sponsor is sponsored. I mean, everybody's good, but just to have 1,000 names on the side of your buggy just to say you have sponsors, I don't think,
Yeah, you got to have value. You got to
Yes,
have value, and then they got to have value to you.
yes.
You know, there's a lot to that, but
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. I tell you what, Jim Burmeister is answering some questions in this chat, but he won't get on here. Somebody said get him a beer, he'll get on there. Next time I see him at a race, I'm gonna have to holler at him.
I think I think he's getting a rear steer axle on his bouncer, and
Really?
yeah, gonna get some shocks freshened up and
On
start
his
racing
trail
all
rig?
this. That's the rumor that I heard, that he's gonna get into her full time.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah, Cody McQuallum, he's the one that said that Jim loves beer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
uh, let's
When,
see here.
when you were saying before about other guys, Cody Macklom, he built a brand new buggy, and it's very competitive, real fast. And I know he would be dying to racing, but he's right in the middle of. He built his own shop to replace one that he was renting, and is building a hell of a successful business right now. He's
Uh,
kind of right in the nitty gritty of it, getting everything lined out. So I got a feeling that he'll be a lot more into the sport next year, at events and stuff.
okay,
And then
cool.
Jeremy Burgess is almost very similar case. He's building a brand new buggy. He started on it about the same time, and he's got a bunch of stuff going all at the same time too. He's building the shop, and
Cool. Heck yeah.
and
That's that seems to be the thing this past couple years because the Bacons was building a house and building a huge garage, and I think Little Tim might be building the buggy. I don't know for sure, but you hear a lot of things, and that was. It's just it seems like, and like everybody's like, who else? Somebody else uh quit for a while. I think Adam Coots quit for just a little bit, and I seen him post a lot more of his rail building stuff. But cool. So you planning on Bikini Bottoms?
Yep.
Have
Yep.
you ever been there?
Nope. I know. I mean, I've never been there, but I've hundreds of hours I've watched of that. I mean, I know the course.
It's rough.
Yeah.
You you need to get a good bounce on Fable Hill.
Yeah.
Anything else, I think you'll be okay. But Fable Hill, that's just one of those where somebody gets stuck in there, they'll just beat on it and beat on it, and it's one of those momentum. You got to get the right bounce and keep on bouncing all the way up. As soon as you let off that throttle, you're gonna sit back down and sit there and spin more. But it's man, it's good. Spectators, you bring in the wife and
Yep.
kids.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Wife, kids, and dog.
I mean, it's nice. You can see all everything. So
Yep.
it's real nice. Like I said, I don't know if you was on here, but it's to me, I believe it's going to be the biggest bouncer event of the year.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm
Uh,
looking forward to it. I was really sad to hear that this was going to be their last event. I don't know anything about it, but I mean that's all. That's Bikini Bottoms is a staple, ain't that? Where the guys from the
the
guys from
Icelandic,
overseas come and race?
yep, the Icelandic people.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
I mean that's kind of history right there that they've made, in the off road world.
yeah, yep. Jay Stewart says, Nick Reich, maybe I could get my shit together and we can get them Fords trying to whoop up on them Chevy guys. But damn, I've had some bad luck this season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he has. He Jay Stewart's has had some bad luck this season.
yeah. That's man. When he's on though.
Yeah,
And
it's he has had some bad luck, but he's one of those that he just looks like he could be pissed off. But just no matter what, he just looks like the just look like a guy that could be pissed off all the time. But he is the most polite, caring person that you'll ever talk to.
yeah,
And I'm he can shoot a rod out the block and he's gonna be like 5 minutes later, hey, how you doing? I'm like, really, Jay? I'll be
yeah.
upset next week.
He's pretty. Uh, I would have to go as far as saying that he is somebody that represents our sport very well.
Very well.
I mean, I always got a smile on his face. He'll do anything for anybody, help as much as he can. I mean, just all the time,
Yeah.
just best. And then to boot, when he gets up to the line, there ain't nobody that's fucking going to get a beer or a sandwich or something. You know,
At that time, I'm backing off from where I'm standing at.
yeah,
Because ain't no telling where he's going, but he's going.
yep. But I mean, that's what makes it. That's what's going to grow the sport. That's what's going to make the sport more entertaining and better.
Uh-huh.
There's racers out there, that there's people that would, walk away from to go get something to eat, And I'm not saying that's bad in any way, but he's full of action and he's
Yeah.
happy and he's a nice guy. And I mean, his shit is awesome. So I mean,
Super.
what more could you get?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Everybody's pretty nice, but you have those certain people that are just like you think of at a higher level than other people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's not taking nothing against any other driver,
No,
but
no, no. You
but
need all types to make the world go round.
yeah,
You
yeah,
do. You got to have everything. You got to have it all.
yeah. Jay's one of those people that I look up to, and I tell you one person that I look up to, and I don't know, 20 years younger than me. That's Cooper Bentley.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Cooper is so nice and so polite. I'm telling you, it's like, where did you come from, dude?
yeah.
But Cooper is he's a real good dude. He's growing up to be a, a great man. Great man.
It always blows me away how great everybody is. I honestly have never, I've really never met anybody that's been that's been rough. You know, I shouldn't say rough. I've never met anybody that's just plain been somebody I didn't want to be around.
Right,
You know,
right.
every one of them, and every one of them, I didn't know anybody, and nobody introduced. I just walked up, and we were looking at the same things, and started asking questions, and we
Right.
start bullshitting. And I mean, that's what makes the sport so amazing. And I know it's just not me, and I know it's just not because I'm into it, because I've had lots of people come with me and say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it is the type of person that's involved in this sport that makes them like that. And
Yes.
it's not all types of racing, because there's a lot of
Right.
types of racing that are pretty rough.
I've never met a racer that yeah, that I didn't feel the love. They all, even when I was new, nobody knew me, and I was just a guy taking pictures, and but I've had run-ins with other media people, but never any drivers. So let's see. Lucas says, "Good evening, y'all." He is the
Lucas
drone.
bought some
He's
shirts, some Fordzilla shirts.
Did he?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's the drone guy for Outlaw. But I didn't see him the last couple races at the Outlaw.
You know, my one good memory of Lucas
What's that?
is at Visions when I windowed out the block on Wooly Pulley. I believe he was the guy that ran down to me and picked up my piston and handed it to me while I was still strapped in the driver's seat.
That sounds like Eagle Eye.
Yeah.
Oh, Eagle Eye. Oh, uh, Ja- Jamie says Jay is top notch.
Heck
Great
yeah.
family man. Yeah, he is. Uh, Holly Laswell with the Outlaw series says the whole rock bouncing race series is full of great people. I agree. I agree. Um, I don't know who this is yet until it pops up on my other. Jeremy Reeves says we need Fordzilla at Ride for a Cure next year. That'd be awesome. They just did a huge Ride for a Cure um, for Jeremy's daughter down there in Alabama at Indian Mountain. And man, I tell you, I went two years ago when the rock racing series was there, and I had a blast. Had a freaking blast. And I told myself, well, I'm gonna go as long as there's not an event. And it just so happens there's like an event, like maybe last 2 years. I'm like, oh no, because I want to go down and take pictures, and be useful to an event like that. I wouldn't charge him or them nothing, but I can never get uh I can never get to go down there because there's always an event. So hopefully next year, uh, we could get it planned out and I could go down there.
I would have been there this year. Um, it was my birthday on the 14th, and about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, we had planned a side by side ride this weekend. And I mean, I didn't know about the ride for Cure until probably 3 weeks ago. And oh, I wanted to go so bad because that rock bouncer shootout that I just did, I raced. I lost to Jeremiah in the first round, and he put me in a losers bracket, and I had to race like I don't even I know for sure 12 races. I don't know how many total, but I raced so much like I had my fill for racing that day. And
Yeah.
so I was tuned up, and I'm like on the top of my game, for
Yeah.
how the buggy feels and handles and how I can drive it. So I
Yeah.
was just like ready to go out. Like in my eyes, I just want to go to every weekend then, because I can I'm comfortable. I know right where it's at, the feeling of it and everything. But I couldn't. We had a side by side ride that we went for my birthday. So
Nice. Heck yeah. Jeremy, I'd like to get you on the show, Jeremy, if you're listening, if you want to. It's just a little bitty show, but you're more than welcome to come on. Maybe I'll get with you next couple days. Let's see. Jim Burmeister says we should do that, Nick Reich. Good calls and place looks awesome.
what's that?
Uh, Burmeister said talking about you and him should go down to Rod for a Cure next
Oh
year.
yeah, heck
So
yeah.
so Jim said he's down for it.
Oh yeah. I that's the cool thing that we got is there isn't out of our group there, and like Jake Brown, he's going to be finished with his buggy here soon. But out of our group, I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't go to a race just about any time. I mean, everybody loves it,
Yeah.
and is willing. And now that everybody or the majority of everybody has got their stuff worked out and kind of wrapping up and on the downhill, there should be a lot more attendance from all of us guys.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something cool I did want to tell you about before I forget about is we do recovery at Crandon. So the whole Crandon thing is I have a lot of friends that have worked and donated their time there almost their whole lives for probably 25 years there. And that was where I was a big part of. That's not far from where I live. So I was a big short course. I was really a big fan of short course racing before I ever got into rock bouncing. So I spent a lot of time at Crandon. Well, anyway, they called me. Oh, it must have been 3 months or 4 months before the Crandon race, and said, "Nick, you're never going to believe what we're building right now." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what? What are you building?" They said, "We're building a rock bouncer hill, a knockout hill for you guys." And now there's a little backstory into it. And the majority of the story is that I've talked to the powers at Crandon for a long, long time about having rock bouncing, and I mean it is what it is. You speak your piece and go on and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome because we started doing recovery for Ultra 4 there in the past couple of years. So I was all excited when I got that call, right? So right away I called JT and I said, "Hey man, what do you know? What do you know about this race? When are we going to register? What do we got to do?" And he says, I don't know anything yet. I don't know anything. I didn't even know that they were building the hill. And I was like, okay, well, and he says, as soon as I know something, I'll let you know. And then I think I got off the phone with him, and I think I called Tripp right away. And I was like, well, what do you know? And he's like, I don't know anything. I haven't heard news to me, So that was that. And then we basically waited up till the time, till 2 weeks before or something like that. And then that flyer come out. And that flyer come out and got us all jacked up again because we could lost a little hope that there was going to be any rock bouncer racing.
Yeah.
When that flyer came out and we seen knockout on there, I don't know about you, but I was at 110%.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was Jeremiah Strauss. He sent that flyer to me at like 7:07 p.m. And by like 7:15, I already talked to 8 different guys and sent that out to everybody. And I sent everybody messages, asking them, what do we got to do to register and how does this work and what do you want and do you need help? And I may have overwhelmed a lot of people, but in 24 hours we had 23 people that were verbally committed to racing it.
Wow.
So we had like 13 or 16 in the first like 8 hours. Wow. So anyway, the moral of the story is I think we kind of overdid a little bit, and then when I looked a little closer, they only had a certain amount of time in there to run all the races, and of course, hearing the story from the other side, they had never planned to have rock bouncers. They used the term knockout because that to them was side by side racing.
Right.
They did not mean to use that term in the reference to the rock bouncers.
Well, I thought Jason bought Ultra 4 And I thought Joey Beck was with Jason, and Joey Beck was still doing the shootouts at the Ultra 4 races.
Well, you are correct. I say all this with a grain of salt, so I know nothing for sure, but I do listen a lot. So,
Right.
I from what I know, I do know that Jason bought Ultra 4 and then bought Short Course, and then that is true. I believe I spoke with Alan Johnson about this and JT, and we believe where all the confusion came from is my friends when they called me 4 months or 3 months before the event and said, "Hey, we're building a knockout hill." They thought the exact same thing that I or any other rock bouncer would think.
Gotcha.
Well, that's right there where all the confusion or where the lines got crossed.
Oh,
So, but on a positive note, back to the original story. On a positive note, with all this, um, we drew a lot of interest. We got to talk to a lot of the right people, and we have commitment or verbal commitments from JT and Alan that there will be rock bouncer racing there next year. So
nice.
that's a pretty huge deal.
Now, rock bouncing racing or just shootout? Because they normally just do
I
shootouts.
don't know. I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care. As
Hey,
long as I'm racing and racing there.
so what do you prefer? You prefer like hills, legit courses, or just a shootout? What do you prefer? I know you like
I
to do
would
both.
I prefer the wilder the better, I guess. I guess if I could have anything, it would be as wild as it gets, knockout hill with big rocks and kind of more action the better. That's what I prefer.
Okay, I got
It kind of be a mix of like a bounty hill and a knockout. That's as much action as you can get, but it don't really matter. Racing is racing. I just want what's most exciting for the people watching.
you. Yeah, yeah,
Um, but with all that being said, we're doing recovery at Crandon, and we got me and Jim Burmeister, and we're up on the hill, and we're right on the rocks for the Ultra 4. Where all the recovery needs, and we're up there, and it's a high adrenaline, when you're up there because you're right by them, and
yeah.
you're racing out there, hooking them as fast as you can, dragging them off while the race is going on.
I know that's got to be adrenaline.
It
Like,
is. You're jacked to the max. Well, anyway, so we're up there and we're doing all this stuff, and we're all pretty amped up, and in between in between a set of Ultra 4 races, all these older gentlemen come out. They cross the track, they open the fence, cross the track, and come out over by us. And they get up, underneath there was a tent there, and I mean it was a lot. It was like 10, 12 guys. I mean, where we're at is dangerous, or it's not
right,
like there's nobody over there. There's 10,000 people on the
right.
other side of the track. And where we're at, I mean, we're getting hit with rocks and everything. And
Sound like you're part of media.
I'm thinking about it for a minute, and I radio JT, and I'm like, man, there is a pile of people that just randomly came over here. I'm like, I can't, I gotta, I gotta take care. We gotta be safe,
Yeah.
And he's like, and I don't think he got back to me right away. He's like, let me look into it. Let me look into it. And so I went up to him and I'm like, hey guys, I'm like, I really don't know anything about you being here, but just ask you to just stay away from this edge, stay back, and then when they go by sideways, make sure you turn your head so you don't get hit with a rock because you will get hit, And
Yeah.
I said, just be on your toes. You got to pay attention in case you got to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And here, one gentleman stepped up, and here it was the owner of the park, and it was a bunch of guys that Jason from Mid America has been in talks with and trying to build and promote the sport from TV networks all across the United States or world. Jim might be able to help me out a little bit with this, but I mean all the biggest networks like
Wow.
NASCAR, ABC, NBC. I mean,
Dang.
these guys are all 80 years old and consultants and everything. So anyway, so we're up there and kind of find out who they are and in between races, and we're talking and we're giving them the rundown of the sport. Ultra 4. And well, as soon as they started talking who they were and what they were, we just switched right over to rock bouncing. I mean, we're now granted I'm not the world's best salesman, but I gave it everything I had. I mean, it was pretty cool because they were right over there. They were taking all the notes down, the links for YouTube on their phones.
That's
We
awesome.
got in the National Rock Racing Association. We got them to write all that down. We got them to write down Bobby Tanner and
That's awesome.
Cable Hill.
Nice.
And then Jim got one in. He had him look up Fordzilla. So yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to Jake because they probably think I'm really awesome. We never told them that the whole story.
That is freaking awesome right there.
But it was pretty cool because we really got to kind of like a dream come true. We got to say our piece to probably the people that have the most power in the world to change the sport with the snap of a finger.
Hey, that's all it takes,
Got to tell them about Jay Storts being on the cover of the PlayStation game and how that's going to affect every young kid in the world,
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made Crandon. That was a lot of fun.
Did they come to you about on that video game?
No.
Supposedly they come to a couple different drivers.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited. My son plays it a lot, so I'm gonna get it as soon as it comes out. That's for sure.
I mean, you probably already know this or whatever, but I believe that single-handedly will probably do as much for the sport as just about anything up to this period in time has.
Oh yeah, because kids are they're gonna play it and they're gonna be like, wow, just
hopefully the game does good.
Yeah. The that one my son plays, it's a rock bouncing game. He plays on his phone. Clyde has something to do with it. I don't know what it's called.
See, my understanding is that Clyde had everything to do with that PlayStation, with that. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. But
oh no, okay. Well, he might have, but no, the game that's been out for 10 years.
Oh yeah, the app game, right?
Yeah. I heard Gigabit off road.
Yep.
They haven't done anything to that game in years, like updates or anything like that. So that game coming out with Jay, it's gonna be pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can't freaking wait. So hang on just 1 second. I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
All right. Had to get a water. Couple more questions for you. Well, let's do one right here. Lucas says, Nick, you are a true ambassador pushing the sport. Thanks, man. Can't wait to see some Pike-built buggies running against each other.
You bet. Bet.
So if there's a buggy out there that you would love to drive, you don't have to race it if you don't want to, but if you want to race it, then you could race it. What buggy would that be?
Probably Matt Schuessler's.
Bad attitude.
Bad influence.
Bad influence.
Yep.
Okay.
Probably that. I think that. I mean, I would have loved to drive the original Gold Rush.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a pretty amazing experience. That would have been really cool. And then either the original Outlaw, back when it had the big supercharger, right when he made it.
Yeah.
Basically anything with that crazy amount of power. I've had some experiences with like way too much motor in race stuff. Not anything like trucks or cars or anything, but in dirt bikes, four-wheelers, and snowmobiles, I've had some of the wildest stuff that there is, and it's completely different than what anybody ever thinks. It actually makes it harder, and
yeah.
I just can't imagine what it would be like to try and drive one of those.
Yeah. Well, you do have you do have some power though.
Yeah, yeah. That's a
But
that's a little. We're on different levels there, bud. But I appreciate it.
you know, Timmy's buggies, and
Oh,
probably Gold Rush, they're turned down.
oh yeah, yeah. I should say this. I always wanted to drive every one of Timmy's buggies, anything, because I always knew that they handled so amazing because of how good how talented he is. But I always knew that I'd never fit in any of them.
Yeah.
So I knew that's kind of an unrealistic thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see here. So your main goal next year is to race a full season of one series, and then you're going to hit a couple of another series. But you're going to be
My
but your full intention is to cover every race in one of the series.
Yeah, my main goal is to race SRRS so I can get more exposure and people know who I am, and hopefully pick up a couple more sponsors to help both of us
Okay.
so I can race more. I would love. I'm not saying I'm not racing outlaw. That's all I've ever raced is outlaw. I don't even know how many seasons I've raced. At least three, maybe four. I don't know, but I've only ever raced outlaw, so I feel like I need to race national rock racing, to experience everything. I raced point one. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I can get some good exposure doing it, and I haven't done it. And there's a lot of people that I'd like to meet in that series that I haven't met.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of the guys at all, and I want to know them all, and networking and do the best I can so I can race more.
Yeah. I don't know who this is, but somebody says, "Woo, what up? Turn up, boys." Let's see. Yeah, let's see who this is. Okay, the man himself, the living legend, Timmy says. Cameron says, any changes you want to do to the buggy before next year? I know Timmy's first thing he'd do to that buggy, but
Yeah,
we
we
all
got
heard we all heard what he said about those struts on his live feed, but we're not gonna visit back there.
Oh, come on now.
What changes are you gonna do to the buggy before
Well,
next
actually, Timmy helped me an awful lot. Make some good adjustments to them struts. He really did took the time and really talked me through how to adjust my suspension and really made some big positive changes with them. So I appreciate him very much and him taking the time just to help me with that.
year?
But the biggest change that I'm making on Fordzilla, and I mean it's a big change, is we are getting a big block from John Casey himself, uh, brand new, all aluminum, and that's going in Fordzilla. We'll be getting that. I have a commitment from them that I will have it by January 1st.
Wow.
So that'll be a really big deal.
Okay.
That'll be the second dream other than Fordzilla. That was the biggest thing that I always want. I don't know if you know who John Casey is or not, but
I've heard of him.
John Casey is I mean, he is the Ford. If there's any motor builder uh, that's in relationship to a Ford, it's John Casey, And then you have like Shelby and,
Yeah.
and these other guys. But John Casey is the guy that originally designed the Cobra Jet head. He originally designed the P51 head, and then the newest SR71. So that's a really big deal. He makes his own blocks, and that's just a really big deal for me.
So
So
I don't deal with motors. I'm not a motor guy. But so is that all going to be motors? You can have a Whipple on it. You can have or what?
uh, no Whipple. Hopefully I'm gonna make. Well, I shouldn't say hopefully. I know I'm gonna make just as much horsepower as all the Whipples. So I ain't gonna run that much because like I said, I've learned my lesson with overpowering many times and trying to be fast with them in other sports. So I'm doing what I think is going to be the best. but I'll be no shortage, especially with my weight. My buggy is extremely light,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll definitely I should be. I don't know if I'll have the best power to weight ratio in the whole thing, but I'm going to be damn close.
Heck
So I
yeah.
can't say for sure because I don't know the specs on everybody, but it'll be a big deal, and it'll be something that I've never had a rock bouncer that the machine could handle more than my driving skill until I got Fordzilla. And now that I have Fordzilla, now that I've gotten comfortable with it, now I've run into the issue. I don't know, a handful of times where I could have used more horsepower. It would
Yeah.
have benefited me.
Yeah.
So, obviously I got to drive more and more and more, but that'll be a nice challenge, and that's something that won't hold me back. Hopefully.
Heck yeah. I tell you what, Nick, you're definitely making a name for yourself because I'm looking at the comments right here, and a guy named Timmy Cameron has commented. Right underneath him, a guy named Jake Pike has commented. So if you're in the mix with those two guys, you're making a name for yourself, buddy, and I'm proud of you.
Those guys are just good guys.
They are. They are. So you say you plan on following National Rock Racing Series. We got that. But if Outlaw has a race first, are you going to hit it up or are you going to wait for the season opener for
I,
Windrock? I would assume Windrock.
oh man, I really don't know. I'm putting all my goals in one basket. I mean I know everybody has big goals or whatever, but I really don't know. When the series starts, I'm actually in Arizona working, and I have like a lot of my equipment, or I have my semi that I normally pull my race trailer with. It's down there with me, so there's so many parts to it. It's tough. I don't really know. I don't know if I'm bringing my whole race rig down to Arizona and I'll have that and the semi there and be able to head from there. I don't know. What I'm thinking right now is I'm hoping that I can get everything tip top shape, put it in the race trailer, and kind of get it somewhere there, maybe next to Nashville or somewhere where I can fly in and kind of drive the rig to it. I don't really know. There's just too many things that are bigger than that kind of make all the decisions for me. I just know that that's my goal.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Yeah. Timmy says, what did you end up doing for tow rig? Did you build one?
um yeah, I bought old Volvo semi standard cab, you know, and we just reconditioned the whole thing. I've been trying to find um, one of them super sleeper semis, just like what Timmy's talking about. Is I really wanted his rig when he put his rig up for sale. I wanted the semi of it
Yeah.
because I could have made sense of that. I could have used that for my business, uh, you know, 50% of the time or more, and had it for a race rig also.
Right.
So I really wanted that thing, but at the time, I just didn't have. I was owed a lot of money, and I wasn't getting paid, and I was too scared to take the risk. And then be like, oh, yeah, it's one thing when you take a risk for somebody you don't know, but it's another when you take it from your idol. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, buddy, I can't pay you. You know?
uh, Timmy says, I got plenty of room. You can leave it here if you want, big dog.
Yeah, yeah. You never know. You never know. I don't know. I really appreciate that.
You
We're
know,
gonna.
Timmy does live close to a lot of the area.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
he's over there in the Nashville side, south of Nashville, but just like Kentucky,
Yep.
he's 5 hours away, maybe 6 hours. Or Windrock, he's probably 3 hours away. Down to Alabama to Hawk Pride, he's a couple hours away. So Timmy lives in a good area. If you did want to leave it there. Um, Ethan Martin is talking to Jake Pike since Jake was in here. He said, when is Jake going to be back racing? I don't I don't know if he'll ever be back racing, but I gotta
Um,
he's
I
gonna
gotta
be
disagree with you there. And
well well hear
that
me
guy
out.
is most hardcore
Hear me
into
out.
racing.
Hear me out. I don't think Jake's gonna be chasing points.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be he'll come back and race, every now and then. But I don't he's not gonna be super competitive like he was. He's gonna be competitive once he gets on the course, but he's not gonna be chasing points. I don't think. He could prove me wrong, but the discussions we've had last year, he he's super busy and stuff like that. And and then Jonathan Gibbs says, let's see. Oh, he is working on folding clothes and mopping floors around the house. No time for racing. Uh, uh, Dan Bowman says, "What's up, fellas?
How you doing, Dan?
What's up, Dan? He's the owner of three different buggies. So,
He's also one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet.
dude, let me tell you, he is. He's down to earth. He's a cool cat. He's
We got to hang out a lot with Dan and his family at Visions, and it was a lot of fun.
did
It
you?
really, yeah, really made it a good time. Just keep selling me on how awesome this sport is all the time.
And he just got into it too.
I
And
know it's so awesome.
and he's he got the bug.
You should have seen me when I backed Outlaw. I didn't even know I didn't know who he was. I didn't recognize his truck trailer. We were just parked next to him. He backed Outlaw out, and I about shit fell right off. You know, fell right out of my camper when I walked out and seen that parked right next to me. So I run over there and start looking that all over, and that's just history to me. I mean, that's just something iconic, that I think is awesome. When that thing came out, it was it was nipping right at the heels, and it was such an odd design.
Yeah.
And anyway, and then the next buggy that backed out was Wade Goods. I couldn't even speak. I didn't even know what the hell was going on for a moment there. And then I got to talking to him, and then he run me through everything, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So,
Recently sold the outlaw buggy, so
yeah, did anybody we know or anybody?
I don't know. I haven't heard nothing about that buggy. And then he picked up, of course, he bought Gold Rush and he picked up another buggy. But we'll talk about that on a later date.
Yeah,
When because a lot of people knows what he's got and some people don't. So
yeah.
it's gonna be on him whenever he wants to put it out. He'll get a hold of me or he'll get a hold of another media person or but
So big.
that's
I
his
got,
story to tell.
yeah, I got a good shout out of Dan. Dan is actually who hooked me up with my new race suit. Um,
Okay.
oh man, I'm trying to name drop that place. Yeah, it's slipping my mind, but Dan says you gotta check these guys out. He's like, they make it simple and easy and turnkey deal, and he was right. He was right. I mean, when you call and you get a suit from them, you get to deck it out, and they have a process down. And I don't know. I guess I didn't dig into it real hard. I tried to go through Simpson in the past, but it was just such a lot of work to get all your sponsors, and
Yeah.
they didn't have a nice clean process, right?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that whatever they do, maybe I didn't have anything right either, but when I tried, it wasn't a simple process,
Right.
and Dan hooked me up with these guys, and man, it was pretty slick. So I'm pretty excited about that, to have a real professional race suit here soon.
Nice. Heck
Yeah.
yeah. You already got it in the works?
Oh yeah, it's done. I think I got 3 weeks left until I have it or something. So
Okay.
yeah.
Um, Dan says, oh, he said he was blushing because you talking about him.
Oh
He said, two brothers, Mike and Michael, bought Outlaw. They have a shop 2 miles from Windrock.
oh cool.
Huh.
Cool
2 miles.
cool.
I might have to go. See who those guys are since they're in my neighborhood. I tell you, somebody that if you ever need some race suits, you need to get a hold of old Justin Wheels.
Yep, yep.
He's got some sharp race suits. Not because it says the AP photography on it, but just saying, they're pretty sharp.
Well, I'm going to do a little plug here at your show to maybe I can find somebody that could really help me. But I've busted a tremendous amount of seats in Fordzilla. I'm running uh, Corbin race seats like I've run my whole life and everything, and I am literally smashing and bending the frames in them constantly.
Wow.
And I'm looking for if anybody can point me in the right direction of somebody that really knows race seats. And I am a big suspension guy. I like suspension seats. But if anybody has an in or has somebody that really knows their shit and can get me pointed in the right direction, because I'll be frank with you, I'm worried about trying something new
Yeah.
because of the hits that I take, and
Yeah.
I don't want to go out there and actually recently all the some of the bad stuff that's happened in route bouncing with people kind of
Yeah.
even has me a little more
Yeah.
worried. So if
I
anybody's got a seat person that really knows their stuff and can kind of compare, kind of knows all the brands and stuff,
there
that would be pretty awesome.
there might be there might be a brand that's more noticed, but um I think it's personal preference, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people's going to say PRP seats,
Yep.
and some people's going to say no PRP seats, something else.
Well, well, the biggest thing with this is with the seat thing is that you know a lot of the seats I have a lot of seats. We have side by side with race seats in. I got race seats all over, and when you cut them apart and look on the inside, or take them apart and look on the inside, a lot of them are made the same.
Yeah,
And I can tell you that there's probably some big brands out there that are 1,000 or 1,500 bucks. That I'd like to think that that's where the money is they're braced up or they're structured better. And
yeah,
what I'm having is not. It has nothing to do with the way the seat is designed, because a lot of the seats are designed exactly the same. What I'm wondering is if there's somebody out there that knows the seats that I have compared to the high dollar seats, and if there really is a lot of extra reinforcement bracing that still gives you the suspension in them.
yeah.
Because what I'm running is the same thing that that a lot of the guys in the off-road trucks run, high speed
Forbo,
and stuff.
Forbo seats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I had in mind, but of course, my bouncer, but of course, I wasn't racing or anything like that. But those are comfortable seats. But uh, what are those full containment seats that they talk about? And some people likes those, and some people's against them. So I would talk to people that people that race. Timmy
yep,
and Jake and Dan's been racing a lot lately. See what he's got, and then maybe going more in depth if you hear a lot about a certain brand, such as PRP, then get a hold of PRP and say, hey, I've cut some open before. Can you do this? Or are y'all coming out with any more that's more sturdy, or not just PRP, other seats too, whatever it may be.
yep.
But yeah. So I mean, we had some good drivers in here. Dan says can't wait to see the new race suit.
You bet. I can't wait either.
Um, Jay Storts says I have a PRP and Ford play, but the Beard T1 Ultra I have, but the Beard T1 Ultra I have in the Showstopper is the most comfortable seat I've ever sat in, and believe me, I've had some nasty crashes and hits in it. That's a guy I would listen to.
Yep.
Jay has had more bad rolls and flips than a lot of your drivers. So whatever Jay says, I would hit him up and talk to Jay more about the seats because he's had some damaging spills, and he
Yeah,
would know.
perfect. I will remember that, and I'll be talking to everybody, I suppose,
Yeah,
after this.
I'm sure I butchered that. Whatever it was, it's T1 Ultra. Uh,
Yep,
but
I've
yeah,
heard of Beard there. Yeah, they're top of the line brand too.
Beard. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, heck yeah. Let's see. Everybody says go BRP. Dan says giving a shout out to Velocita race suits.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think it's Velocity.
Velocity. Yeah. See, I can't.
Yeah,
That's
I might be butchering that too, but yeah, they have pretty slick operation there.
where they out of?
I don't know. I don't know. It was totally Dan. I was admiring Dan's suit. I thought it was one of the coolest suits I've ever seen. And he told me about it. And he says, "Yeah, you gotta call these guys." He's like, they got a good system down. And I thought, well, I thought I better before I get too crazy, I better try the original one that I wanted. And I tried them, and it was quite the process. So I thought, well, I'll give Dan's a shot. And man, it was. I got a hold of this Jason that worked there, and I mean, it's just I guess it's just the process. It is a lot of work. If you ever get any sponsors or you got a bunch of sponsors, and you want to take care of them and make sure everybody gets to see them and know who you're standing behind and who's standing behind you, it's a lot of work that people don't realize. Putting all those things on everything,
Yeah.
getting every print, every image quality. You know a lot about that. You're a photographer,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of work. So those guys had such a streamlined process for it. I mean, it's just awesome. Just makes it simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead
Yep.
of investing hours and millions of emails, they're able to take care of it in one shot.
Yeah. Lucas is chit chatting back and forth with Jay Stewart's, and uh, they're talking about Jay broke his back in Modern Warfare with the ISP seat.
Oh,
So when those ISP seats come out, um, it seemed like those was the seats to go with. It seemed like every racer, everybody was saying, "Hey, these are it. These are it." And then I don't know what happened. It seemed like everybody just started shifting away from them, and I don't know if there's a reason, but I don't know. I did you see DC hit and Justin Will's buggy?
yep, yep,
Um,
definitely, yep.
I had DC on the show uh just a little bit ago or a couple of days ago, and he said the seat fit him good because everybody's talking about the seat. The seat's not, it's too big because Justin's a bigger guy. And DC said, no, the seat fit good. He said it was the way the seat was positioned is how he got hurt. So that may be a big thing as well. And I don't know. I couldn't go any depth on how the seat was positioned or anything else, but so it's all about the seat and all about, I guess, how you got it positioned.
I my opinion is I don't have any interest in an ISP. I have a lot of friends that run those and they're happy. They love them or whatever. But I've I've took a couple hit. I took a couple hits in Woolly Bully. I think like 15 foot of air coming off like a cliff by mistake and landing flat on the ground. And I mean, it, it the tires went right through. The rims hit the ground. Everything. And
Right.
that seat actually tore the suspension seat in it. That's the only thing that kept from probably breaking my back is the
Mhm.
straps in it. It put so much force in it that the straps tore. I've had
Yeah.
that. I've actually had that happen twice, And I believe if I would have had any other seat, I would have probably broke my back or even worse.
Yeah.
And I've actually had that once in Fordzilla already, where I took a really massive hit. It was actually it was it was the Memorial Weekend race in Dresser that I actually won that race, and it was just a single jump going 60, 70 miles an hour, and just
Mm.
hit it and was way up in the air, and I had it pinned bouncing off the rev limiter, and when the front hit, it just slammed the back, and my back struts, I had accidentally let all the fluid out of them. So
Oh,
there was really no suspension there, and it just bottomed out. It actually bent the trailing arms. I mean, it messed
wow.
up all kinds of stuff, and it did that again. So things like that, and then what's that one guy? He's a hell of a good dude that raced that. He had USD stickies at Visions. He broke his back, and I think he had an ISP.
Oh, is
Campbell.
that Jonathan Campbell?
Yep, yep.
Taz?
He bottomed out. He bottomed out. He cased hard right on the peak of a jump. I just
Mm-hmm.
had I have no interest in those at all, and that's just my opinion.
Right.
For me,
Like I
I
said, a
might
lot of
just be.
races,
If I
a
went
lot
on,
of
I
races
need.
went
If
away.
I should go on a diet, and then I'd feel a little more comfortable,
Yeah.
But
Now I think Justin has a PRP seat in his, but I was just mentioning the way.
I think Jeremiah runs one. He swears by it. He loves it. He always told me he couldn't get tight enough in his, or tight enough
Yeah,
in a suspension seat.
gotcha.
I think it was Jeremiah, but yeah, he really likes them, But I'm scared of that stuff. I get I don't trust myself enough. I get a little carried away sometimes, and I really got to rely on my equipment because I not really making good solid safety
So
decisions.
what tires are you running next year?
I'll be running TSL stickies cut.
Okay. Because
Yep.
didn't you have uh USDs on at one point in time?
USD.
Uh-oh. Did
Yep.
you have
Yep.
USDs on?
Yep. So Ryan Webb's a sponsor of mine. USD. He got me into a set of that wheels and tires on Woolly Bully, and he just helped me a lot more than he had to. And I don't know why, because I never. I think the only thing I've ever done for him is give him an oil filter when he broke it on Angus. So he helped me a lot, and I mean, and that's a big deal. I don't care who you are. A set of tires and wheels are a big deal, and I mean, he didn't give them to me or anything, but he gave me a hell of a deal on them. So I've always been trying to pay him back for that, and I ran those. I ran those a couple seasons, I think, on Woolly Bully, and then I ran them on Fordzilla, and I I didn't notice. I didn't notice. I don't notice any downfall with them on Woolly Bully, but on Fordzilla I did, and I feel like it must be something with how light it is. On Fordzilla, I just felt like that was a better tire, and uh, and Jake was actually the one. I would have never known it if it wouldn't have been for Jake. Jake was giving them a try there, and he said he noticed. He said he noticed that they didn't grab the rocks as good. And
Yeah.
so we went and tried some TSL stickies out, and man, and I can feel it, and
You
I
fell in
can
love.
feel it. You ever take a like a wet washcloth and you hit your arm? You know how it kind
Yep.
of flings around?
Yep.
That's what I feel like the lugs do on those stickies. When you get those things spinning 40, 50 miles an hour, those lugs are just whacking the rocks and digging for traction. And
Yeah.
I,
You
I
should.
can I can feel it. I can feel what tire is pulling,
Yeah.
and I didn't get that sensation with the other ones. And I'm not saying they're bad. They're probably the best trail tire you could ever get. You know, they,
Yeah.
they probably are, and they're going to be on Woolly Bully. They're going to be on there for everything. But
You should have
but for
seen.
what I want, they're lighter. And I believe they work better with that rig. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to stick with them for now.
You should.
Though I
You should.
did go through a lot of them at Crandon.
You should. Oh, did you?
Yeah, yeah, I
You should.
did.
You should have seen Jake's two back tires when he did 2-wheel drive at finals.
Oh man.
Oh man, that was crazy. That was awesome.
No, they didn't. He didn't get much for him on marketplace after that race, huh?
Oh, I bet. Oh, I bet. Well, we're coming up on 2 hours. I'm gonna let you go and get at it, and I appreciate you for coming on, and I'm gonna hit you up with these shirts. How do people get a hold of you? Just message you, or
Yeah, you message me or you message Behind Bars Racing, or I mean, just about any way you want. You can, if you reach out on Facebook, I will respond and I will ship them to you. And I'll be at I know I'll be at Bikini Bottoms, and if the world turns the right way, I guess hopefully I'll be at finals, and I bring all of them with me, so they stay right in the race trailer.
cool, heck yeah. Uh, Timmy Cameron says still got another hour. Need three because he went 3 hours. Well, if we would have started at 7, then we probably went 3 hours. But I know you got to work, and I got to get up at 3 o'clock or 2:30 in the morning. I got to go to work.
Yeah, no
But
problem. We can do it another time. There's plenty of stuff to talk about, so let's spread it
oh
out a little
yeah,
bit.
oh yeah. Jim Burmeister says he wouldn't sell. They're sitting next to his shop. So I guess those tires that he burn up in 2-wheel drive are sitting next to his shop. Is that what he's talking about?
Must be.
uh, Jim Burmeister says, Jake, you good for Thursday? I, I don't know if he's talking about coming on the show or what, but
He's actually gonna Jim's gonna go down by Jake and pick up Wooly Bully for me.
oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I heard you talking about that. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, yeah, that's gonna be exciting getting that back.
Oh yeah, my
I
kids and
say
wife are all excited about it.
I say, oh, so is your wife gonna be? Well, no, you can't trail ride yours. You can't trail ride Fordzilla. Uh,
Uh,
I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. You did say you don't have a big, huge, powerful motor. That new motor you got won't be trail riding.
yeah, I really don't know. To be honest with you, I was talking to that John Casey about the motor, and and he seems like this is going to be a pretty simple thing for him. He's not too worried about it. So,
Nice.
it's not, he builds some of the most powerful Ford motors in the world for all types of racing. So, when I told him the horsepower numbers I was looking for, he's like, "Oh yeah, we can do that," and doesn't have to do anything real crazy to get what I'm looking for. So,
Right.
so I
Heck
was
yeah.
like, "Oh, okay," I thought, make it reliable.
Oh yeah. Oh, all right, my man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and you want to give a shout out to anybody? I know you say you don't have many sponsors, but
I I'll run through them quick, but the people that help me here a lot is RCV Performance Products and their axles, ORI struts, Vision wheels, AMS oil, Mira Safety is a new one. They got a pretty awesome product that I'm going to be using here from now on. It's a shock absorber, like a Hans device. Advanced coatings. Griffin Rad helped me for no reason at all, other than I think that Jake Pike was building my balancer. He gave us a really good deal on our radiator. Busted
and what
Knuckle Off
you
Road.
cut
They spend hours on the phone with me whenever I have an issue.
you cut
And
out
then
just a little bit. Who was the radiator? You cut out just for a second. Who was the
oh
radiator guy?
Griffin
Okay,
Thermal Products,
okay,
radiator.
gotcha.
They're a big ordeal, and
Yeah,
they really like Jake because they really help me out on the radiator that I got for Fordzilla. So,
well, that's
and
good.
then Powerline Performance, which built all my motors up to this point, and I mean they've done more than they ever had to do for me also, and Jensen Brothers. man, Jensen Brothers blew me away here recently when they just randomly hooked me up with a full set of brand new struts. So
Nice.
yeah,
Now,
Memorial Weekend I had three races and three independent races, and I ended up winning two of them and second in the third one. And I messed my own shocks up with a process that it was completely me. And boy, I feel like a dummy, so I don't want to talk about that. But let's just say I messed them up, and then I paid the price, and those guys hooked me up just huge. So can't thank them enough. And then probably the most important of all is Jake Pike, and I mean he made an amazing machine that's super competitive and it's just fabulous. I think it could be best, maybe one of the best machines ever built. So
yeah,
that's pretty amazing to have the talent to do that. And then all the companies that promote this sport, lifestyle, DPAT's photography, Eagle Eye Productions, and Nick on the Hill, AP. Or what's the official name? How do you
addictive, addictive
addi-
photography.
addictive photography? Off-road fraternity and bouncer life. I mean, all those places. I would pay to get photos and just anything I could because I just wanted to be a part of the sport. And I mean, you guys do so much anymore. It's crazy. I should have you guys on payroll. You just share the shit out of everything. You guys, nobody would know who anybody is or wouldn't even know the sport. So
Yeah,
man, all of them, all of them.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I'm just a small one on the totem pole, but I'm getting there. But
yeah.
I appreciate you saying that. I guess
Chris has been right there backing me. I mean, he's tried to help me, I don't know, 5 times or so. Fritz has sent me stacks of shifter cables and everything. It just hasn't worked out yet, but he's had my back the whole time. And the off road fraternity, they do nothing but support me. They hook me up with my big pet and just out there put my name everywhere they go. So
cool. Heck
uh,
yeah, that's
pretty
awesome.
awesome.
That's awesome. I only know Kirk Jensen.
Okay. Yep.
I know him because he was actually on the hills taking pictures at a couple events a couple years ago. So is
Yeah,
he?
I don't know. I mean, these guys don't know me at all. And the first time I met Kurt, I bought a set of shocks for him, and he actually flew out to a race. Uh, and I mean, he came there just to help me tune on Woolly Bully, and then ended up volunteering to help. So that was the first time I met this guy, and I was like, "Geez, this is crazy." And the guy, he's a sport and everything, but I mean, he came there and spent I don't know 2 hours with me in the field, just hitting this big G out,
Yeah.
helping me tune my shocks. And
Huh.
then they're just good people. They
Yeah.
just really are just good people.
Oh yeah.
So,
Definitely. Well, I guess I'm gonna get off here. I appreciate you coming on. Yeah. We'll see you at Bikini Bottoms hopefully.
you bet. I hope so. And thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, I
Appreciate
appreciate.
everybody that's watching too.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. We'll see. We'll see you then.
You bet. Let's keep growing this sport.
Yes, sir. See you, buddy.
Bye bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nick Reich. That's right. He's got a lot. He's got a lot coming up. It's going to be exciting, real exciting next year to watch. Whew, big motor. Whoo wee. You know, sometimes you go big motor, people say you can't control it. So we're really gonna find out what kind of what kind of racer he is. If he's gonna be able to control all that power, or if he's gonna tune it down, or I know he's gonna drive it. I know he's gonna drive the crap out of it. I don't think he's gonna have a problem with more power. but we will see. We will see. That's awesome for him to come by and tell us a couple stories. We will get Jim Burmeister on here one of these days, even if we're out at a campfire and he's got a couple beers in him. We'll get him on the show some way or another. But appreciate you all for coming by. Uh, I do know that I am trying to work things out with Chris Wygant, shock tuning guy for most of the rock bouncers. We're just trying to get a date, maybe next week, because it seems like I have. Here's the thing: if I get somebody on the show, I want everybody to know that this person's coming on the show. And so I don't want to put everyone, at everyone so everyone could see that somebody's coming on. I don't want to do that a lot. Well, so I'm wanting to go Mondays and sometimes Thursdays. That's on my mind. So if any of you all think that you don't have a problem with being tagged twice a week, because people just don't like being tagged, and I understand that. But I'm only doing it once a week right now, so 4 times a month ain't bad. But so by me putting everyone, that just means I want everybody to come and see who I've got coming on the show. This show's still relatively small. I understand that, but we're trying to make it big. Maybe one of these days it will get big, but it only gets big if you like and if you share. You have to like the video and share the video every time we're on. That way we could keep growing, and get everybody's names out there. Uh, so, Nick, appreciate it. We'll see you at Bikini Bottoms, and I'm out.